Alright, so last video we got the oil tank, we got the head, kind of the intake on, but we also know that we got to get this the rear anti-vibration mount mounted up. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start that process of what to do. Yeah, I know. I had to play a teaser with myself with this because the AA engines came in chrome on both, so that's kind of a big reason right there for things. So we're gonna have to do some kind of drilling today or this evening. I don't know. And this anti-vibration mount is got to go somewhere here. So what's going to have to happen is we're going to have to mount this up to the fuel tank, and I think we're going to be able to get away with not having to assemble it all like I thought we were going to have to. We'll take this off right here. Looks cool, doesn't it? Soon, very soon. All right, so put it back. It's a 1.5. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is get the fuel tank, which in the last video we saw I kind of partially somewhat assembled it and everything. Put the anti-vibration on it, and then we'll put the front one on too. And we'll be able to bolt that to the oil tank. And then the front oil tank should be able to hold long enough to where we can mark for where these holes are going to go. Now how I'm going to mark those with it kind of up like that, that's a good question, but I think I kind of have an idea in mind. So let's go ahead, and we don't even need the full wrap bolts. I was just thinking that to myself. Got my little cheat sheet here, hardware list and everything, and even a 101A setup or whatever 101 thing. So I got my hardware list and everything of knowing what goes where. See here, 3/4 and 6 of them plus washers. I don't think I bought enough washers, but that's fine. I think we'll be okay without it. So we'll go ahead and get started on that one. And there's one missing right there. Bring y'all in a little closer. How's that sound? So we need a 3/4. Might be able to get away with a 5/8 now. Oop. See, back in the day, it looks like they used like a stainless steel or something set up. So we've got to get all that here done. Done-dittered. Kind of thinking to myself, maybe a 3/4. I don't know, that seems a bit long. Is that what the book says or what I decided to write down because I didn't want to get 5/8? And then later on, I just ordered them all just to be accurate, so I might have to look that back up. There's plenty of space there, but more than it really needs to hang out. Of course, there's supposed to be a washer, but there's no need for such a long bolt, then we're not going to put it, right? Might have been a 5/8. So I was thinking when I was making this out, I was like, the hardware store doesn't have 5/8. Ace doesn't have those little intermediate sizes. Yep, 5/8. Eats up all the threads perfectly. Probably be taking stuff back off and everything anyways, but keep you guys right there. Alright, so when things mount up, this back part goes to the oil tank. So just like So, and of course this right here has to bolt to here. This is your ground strap. It's ugly, but it'll work. This one bolts up to here, and it connects the, so that you can turn it off. It connects the switch here. Is that what it does? I don't know. Yeah, it, maybe I have the switch set up wrong. I don't think I do. No, because you have to be able to ground the two and everything. That you have to connect the top and the bottom of these together and everything for the switch to happen. If I recall correctly, the CP125 has 2 wires, so that it can connect them all into one. While this is just this is a 1-wire setup they have running here, but they put a ground strap up on the front to connect the two together, the top and the bottom, because it's all rubber isolated, so you're not going to have electricity passing through whatsoever. So, engine's starting to get a little heavy. She's gaining weight. It's about to gain more here in a minute just to lose it off. See, now those sizes, like I said, it might be a 5/8. I don't know. I'll have to look in the big book here real quick. Like I said, I kind of cheated on some of that stuff, and then I just wrote down the correct ones later on. The big book. Into that section, into that section. Nope, not that section. Number... Okay, well, number 6. It was a 5/8 for that one. Okay, I guessed it correctly. So the ones that go up, number 3 are 5/8 also. Yeah. And then for the rear tank ones to go down, well, what would you think? It'd be probably the same dang old thing. Not overly complicated, just a lot of little parts, but nothing to worry about. Okay. Because I'm about to make an educated guess here in a second. It isn't showing. Oh, wait, there it is. 68. 5/8. Okay, so 5/8 all the way around. It's good to know. I think I ordered like 20 of them. This thing's probably going to be overbuilt. Yeah, that's a 3/4. Overbuilt using 12.9 grade. How you liking the series so far, everybody? Yay? Nay? No? Terrible? Horrible? What is it, December now? At least when you guys are seeing this. And when we go to mount this tank on, I'm not going to be putting the intake boot on at the moment. There's no need for it. Because we're just going to be taking it right back off anyways, and I don't want to just be on, off with that. When we do the final assembly, that's when we will go ahead and do that. All right, so we know the plan of action. Get this, get the rear one on, and we'll have you right back. Alrighty, so let's go ahead, and this is where things are really going to start to look their place. And all suddenly it just starts looking like something, doesn't it? Back on my CP125 build, I was putting this on backwards and like, how the heck does a guy... And then I realized my mistake, so Whoops. Like, this thing is really becoming and evolving into something. This is awesome. I couldn't tell you how excited I am to hear this run. Probably hear that wind outside if you can hear it over my daughter. I gotta get a bunch of washers for these still, but that's good in a cinch. So, alright. So we're able to flex a little here. And kind of see how to mount it up. Get you down to my level here. A little lower. There we go. See it? So we've got to mark that. But we also got to get it centered too. I really don't want to have to put on all the stuff to make it happen. So we're going to just kind of put it where it seems like it's happy at the moment. And that right there, it just seems... I mean, we got to make it to where it's... Like I said, we're going to be bolting it down just like that, and it's got to be happy. So we'll go ahead, pick our fine quality marker. I'm going to look down at the bottom here and kind of line it up by eye where the center is at for the handle and such, for the lower brace. Because it attaches and then goes all the way under, and it's an anti-vibration setup. So this engine is free-floating on rubber isolators. That's how you get your anti-vibration on these. So that looks to be about center there. There. Just marked myself because I'm a ding-dong. Haven't even decided what size chain I'm going to run, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 404. So, kind of. All right, so you've got it. I'm marking like everywhere I can get to. That's about as much as I can get to. And of course, just permanent marker alcohol, take it right off the chrome. So, all right, so it's kind of haphazard on there, centered, sorta. Yeah. So, all right, let's get this tank back off. And we're just going to go for it, I guess. I mean, what do you guys think? Plan of action here. I don't know. Maybe we can just press it down, too. Center that back up. Press it down and try to mark it. I mean, I guess I could put a little fluid on it. There we go. We can draw it like that, actually. Kind of give some spots on where to, and I've got some up and down lines to measure with there. So, all right, we'll see if that works. Had a brainwave. Grease. So just a tiny bit around where the holes are. And then when we think we've got her, we're going to just compress it down. I was just trying to think of something to mark with, and two-stroke oil it. It'll work, but this is not absorbent, so it doesn't really... We just got to know where these holes are going to be at. So when we go for the... I mean, maybe I'm just overthinking this. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I don't want too large of holes or anything, so... All right. So, center it up. I didn't say rotate on me. I just said center up. All right, and then we're going to squish it down. Did Did that even work? Well, I made a big old blotch somewhere. Good thing is I can quickly reset. I think I need more grease just along the whole thing, like really blotch it on. Really blotch it on. I don't know. Marking compound? Gear marking compound? Lipstick? I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't think that's gonna work. Like, the holes ain't even being prevalent. It's just like stamping everything out. Nope. Spot right there, a spot right there I can see. Alright. So we've got general area. Let's get this tank off. Okay. So with the grease sticking it in place, and using my little marks I've made and everything and terrible whatnot, we've got center holes. So that is what we are after doing. So we've got to drill through the shroud. Might do it with it on the block. I don't know. Might drill it, and then what we'll have to take the shroud off anyways. It has to come back off so we can bolt this on there. Figure out what to do to keep it from sliding around and everything inside there and whatnot. So, lots to do. Lots to do. Yeah. Okay, so, brainwave. Holes are drilled. I know I'm going to have to drill them a little bigger here, but at least they're marked haphazardly. So there's our vibration mount, anti-vibration mount. Washers, which I'm limited on. I got to thinking about it. They fit the mounting screws I'm going to use perfectly, pretty much almost. These washers fit pretty much dead on in that hole, a tight fit. So if I can tight fit them ever so carefully inside, I've got the vise over here. Maybe that will work. I mean, very tight fit. So we'll see if I'm successful. Gotta say, I don't know how, but the plan's coming together. It fits. That was a little side-goggled in there, but so we'll have to fix it. But we're gonna put another washer on top. These are just to help center things up. And it looks like that's gonna work perfectly on keeping it centered rather than a giant wallowing hole to try to keep in place. So that's going to work. We get another washer to fit on top there, even if we've got to stack them, and then we're going to bolt that to our shroud once I enlarge the holes. Now, you just need to move over there. All right, so a few random washers later, walled out the holes where they're tight. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. 1/2 inch long, put into there. Then we put our, I don't know, that might be too thick. That may have to be ground down. That's because the ones that we had for the other one, they were low profile bolts, and these are locking ones. And me thinks those are going to be too tall. Just me thinking out loud. It might be. Because this is more the style you need. These thin back ones, so I don't know. This is all just kind of as you play as you go, do it by ear and stuff. Oh, there's another one. May have to actually do those because those locking ones are just going to be way too tall. I can grind down a bolt. The nut, it's going to be a little more. Oh yeah, I can definitely deal with that tolerance a little more. I can work with that. Everybody wants a vintage chainsaw until it's time to work or build that vintage chainsaw. Imagine what dealers did back in the days on these and everything, you know, it never having actually seen one of these 101s in person to be able to observe it, and you know, it's kind of one of those, what did they do? What did guys do? They just solid mount things? Did they do anti-vibrations like this? You know, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one with questions that are unanswered. 3/8. Maybe, probably not. Nope. You would think as many times as I've worked on these, I'd know sizes. Oh no, that didn't even. That might be a metric one. Ooh, see? Getting the torque specs when your wrist pops. What is that? I think inch pounds for the wrist, foot pounds for your elbow. That's okay. If we're putting a fine thread on a coarse thread, that's just Loctite right there. Free Loctite. Nobody can complain about that. Not even cross threading. We're just completely changing up the game totally, because we don't want this falling apart on us in the middle of using it and stuff like that, do we? No, we don't. I know my way of doing this is probably a little unorthodox, but hold on, get that washer centered. There we go. There we go. Feels good and tight. So, ain't no turning back, but that's how, it's a method I came up with to do this. So, but before we mount this, remember last video, we also talked about how we have to cut this ear off right up here, because it is not needed for this build. So, I think I got a hacksaw. Oh, man, I brought it outside. It's like 30 degrees outside. All right, so I gotta go get the hacksaw, and we're gonna have to close off the exhaust port really, really good and everything to not get any shavings in. I've already plugged off the intake, so we'll do that, get that cut off. I gotta drill that right there, and then I've already marked it, and then we can go ahead and tap it. The taps are outside, but maybe I can get away with using one of these bolts, just carefully working at it, you know. So, alrighty. So, all right, let me go do that real quick. Get the hacksaw and get that lopped off. All right, let's see here. Put you to the side. All of you to the side. And I've had this drill bit set for, gosh, 5 years now. And I can't say I use it for everything, hard and steel and stuff, but just the little projects and whatnot. I don't even know how old those are. They were I got them as a inheritance or something gift, and I gotta tell you, they've been holding up good. So anyways, taped off, a little duct tape. Would you happen to know, I found the greatest little hacksaw. I didn't even know I had it. So make sure we tighten her up real good. Mind you, this is like for little tiny jobs. This is like a Harbor Freight super duper cheapy wannabe thing. I mean, it's definitely meant for light duty work, so. And if it does this one job, then I'll be happy. Just don't go down and smack the crank, you idiot. We're down to about a half blade because it bent. Almost there. I meant the cut. Hold on. Alright. See, I don't want to break it off. It's just going to leave a crappy nub. Alright. Almost done with the cutting of the part. There. Jeez. I guess I probably paid like $5 for that. So it did the job. It did the job. So now just take the file, just smooth her on over. Now, of course, most guys would have done this off of the block, but this was a nice sturdy surface and everything is yeah. I had to flip this towel inside out here. That's probably what we're going to do right about now. Okay. So that train wreck of a thing is done. All right. Happy, joy. Oh, dip. Got to drill for that hole and still, whoops. All right, let's get that done. That one. Of course, I flipped the towel and then I drill the hole, and halfway through, it's like, God bless it. So. All right. There we go. So, still gotta manage to run one of these through. Nice and straight. Couldn't find the taps. Can you tell? So when I say I'll just grab another one. That's a 5/8. So we're going to do a poor man's tapping here. And it's pretty soft aluminum too. $12.9 versus. And we're not really cutting, I want to say. Not really, doing the cut. We're just kind of, I don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it. And we're doing it dry. A little every time. Whoop. Some people are like, oh my gosh, what is he doing? We are past halfway and making it. All right. I'll appease the audience. We'll lube up the screw slightly. There we go. With some 2-stroke. I've done this with WD-40 before. That was with an actual tap and die set. But it's working. I think we are almost through. Oh, you talk about a perfect setting. Yeah, we're through. We made it! That is a very perfect fit. Only do that if you're in an absolute pinch, everybody. I don't have the die or tap, but... So, can you do that? Absolutely. Don't do it with a cheap bolt. These are 12.9 on these. That's as far as we can go. We're hitting block and stuff down below. So that is threaded for the shroud. Look at that. That is just beautiful in its own weird way. There we go. All right, so that's done. Let's go ahead. What are we gonna go ahead and do next? Yeah, let's go ahead and toss the rear shroud on and see what clearancing has to be done there. I'm pretty sure the bolt's going to have to be cut, and the one saw I have is about as shoddy as they get. So we'll figure it out. Well, now, all right. Bust out the old Dremel tool and got them down as, got them low. A little bit of crud, I forgot. No, it's out now. So, all right, so we go ahead, cut. That's drilled and tapped. These are drilled, put in. We can put the rear shroud on. No, we can't. Not without filing that old burr down for, hold on. Now without getting that off first. So, all right. Now we can go ahead and bolt this rear shroud on for good. I don't know. I don't know. I had to. Now, what do I do with that one? You ever feel like you're losing your mind? Of course, I had that bolt. Had one. Had two. And searching the big old thing of bolts here. And found what I was looking for. We'll put the Dremel tool right over there in a safer spot than immediately right here. Swap out the drill. Alrighty. Anybody else? I knew it'd come down doing this little custom work. This is what makes it fun, though. Once you've done this, then you've got it. Sorta. This is where lining it up is crucial. Get it right butted up against there. Right butted. Butted right. One of them's incorrect and one of them's correct. You be the judges. Yeah, so that sticks up a little high, but when we bolt her down, that'll bend some stuff. That'll have to get a washer or something put under her. because those are hitting right there onto the head, but that'll be fine. Can't have anybody favoring anybody. There. So that'll have to sit like that. We'll just crunch that up to there. I don't think we're going to need to put any sealant for the intake, to be honest. I think that'll hold itself just fine. Yeah, and we're out of washers. But I don't think we're going to need it for this application. Whoops, bumped you guys. So how deep is this? Yeah. Rear shroud, cooperate. Of course it doesn't want to. I know we've done some modifications. Why would it? There we go. Oh yeah, everything's just cockeyed now. So, all right, I'll get that kind of wallowed out there and bolted down, sorta. Let's get this intake on once and for all. This is a crucial one to make sure it's down properly because it is holding the intake. This one is not. It just kind of helps hold the anti-vibration, so that's pretty good. I mean, it's got a heck of a lot of force on it to hold its own. See, hear the little pop in the wrist? Means you hit torque spec. Which I guess vary person to person. So. Alrighty, so we have got the rear shroud on for good for now. I hope my measurements were all good and everything, and the tank is going to be happy and line up along with the full wraps and stuff. So that was our biggest variable among this whole entire thing. So what do we got to do? We got to put I don't know. Putting this engine in is inside of an old rubber mounted setup and everything is kind of what do you do first. But we can put the gas tank on first and it'll hold its own. Then we can put the bottom, and then we can put all the other stuff. Now, I don't have an impulse line yet that I have. The fuel tank, I've still kind of got an idea for here. We're going to go with a barb setup, if you've seen that earlier. And we're going to have to seal it, cut it, and then we're going to cut 2 of these off so that we can kind of make a shoopus to whoopus right here. Might be able to make it with Tygon. The impulse line is just going to be, you know, whatever we can get to fit, kind of with the fuel line and stuff. So, yeah, we can accomplish this goal probably. I don't have any fuel pickups and stuff. That's the problem. Do I even have any proper fuel line? I used to have a whole bunch. That's definitely not my idea of a whole bunch. I don't know if that's the correct size or not, but I'm going to have to get some Tygon. No, I got 2 different sizes in here. Okay. Because that fits beautifully onto there. And then we impulse it clear over to the carburetor, which it's a terrible, terrible fit. So, you know, it's one of those, what do you do? We might figure out something, but it's easier to put this on now than it is later. Because I've been there, done that, and trying to find that actual factory one is, well, you're just not going to find it as easily, and it's not worth the time and the price and stuff, so. We'll be very generous. Cut it with sheet metal pliers right there. The fuel system, we can figure it out with the tank on it and everything. So, because you got at some point you're gonna have to wrestle around with it on there, right? Or you just take the tank back off. You know how many times I've had to take these tanks back off? Way too many. So now we get to use the aftermarket intake boot, made by Traverse Creek. If you have not seen that video, I will link it below. But for $18, when I made the video, he didn't have a defined price, but for $18, you get this. A beautiful intake boot. It's made of Venton rubber. Durable, strong, fuel resistant, you name it. So, no frays, no little anythings on these. I mean, look at that. And his website will have awesome pictures of it too. So, there's no rag tags or nothing hanging off of it, so. I don't think I'm ever going to have to use sealant on this either. Install this one first. We'll have to install it into the underside of the tank first, and then we'll be super duper careful. And I ordered more of these just to have them on hand because, you know, let's face it, I've got one saw outside that uses this. Used to have 2 until I did that the big carb swap to the Super Pro 125. And I still got to make a cut with that and stuff. It was kind of having an ignition cutout problem on me, and I think I figured it out. Let's put it this far. The one thing I never did check was that spark plug. And the porcelain is cracked on it, broke off. There's a chunk, so there we go. And if you did step number 347 correctly, you will have this on here able to spring. So I advise to put it on the tank first. And like I say, go ahead. I will link you to that, to the product and to Traverse Creek in the description. Super huge thank you for Jason for letting me touch one of the first 2. And now to fit it on here. Alright, so this is not my favorite part of the Super Pro series or doing any of these. It's putting the boot on. It's like no written way. That seems to be working. Nope. Because when I went to do it on it, the lip fell under, but yeah, so. Alright. It gets on it, it fits, it's just, there's no written way. Maybe a little grease around that. That might work. Alright, so just a little spit. And it fits on there beautifully. Just slid right on, and I think it'll seal just fine without any sealer. I don't think McCulloch ever used a sealer on it, but who knows? Any of you older guys watching this that did the logging or repair guys. And I've had quite a few guys that were repaired these, fixed on them, used them. Comment, let me know. We all love to hear those stories. Like from the guy who, when I did a Pro Max 6, Power Mac 6 or whatever, he commented he was the one who was the design guy that, or at least in a group he did, commented that he was the designer to get rid of the Power Mac 6s. And the Mini Mac replaced it because they worked too well. And that's not what you always want to hear, is it? It's like, oh, this worked too well. We need you to design a piece of crap for us. We need to loosen these up a little so I can get a little flex distance here. Hold on. You know what I am forgetting? You didn't remind me? Oiler rod. Alright, so oiler rod, it pumps, works. I don't have a button for it yet, so if I ever find a button for it, I'm going to have to take it back apart, slide the oiler rod, at least the back part, slide the oiler rod over, put the button in, and that. But if a guy wanted to, he could reach in there with something and push it to make it happen, I guess, right? Probably. Starting to look like something, isn't it? Mind you, we still got to do a fuel system and stuff. I've also got to get that little side cover for chip guard and everything. I've got that in the... Got that and everything, but we probably ain't going to be making any cuts with it here anytime soon if we get it running. Getting it running is going to be key. Running, all systems go. I do have a new old stock Oregon drum with bearing and my choice of a new Windsor, in-bag Windsor 3/8 7-tooth or a 404 7-tooth. I think I want to go 8 on this with a 404 just because I know it's going to pull. It's going to have the power to be able to make stuff happen. So I think we got that correct on the anti-vibration mount. I had to put the front mount on first and then the back one, and everything just lines up beautifully. But that looks like a thing. And I can also adjust my oiler. Well, you know what I mean. So, whatever. We'll just leave it there. We'll definitely have to go over a checklist, but we've got that attached there. That's all there, tightened. Everybody's happy. We still gotta get an oil cap. Trying to think. I know I'm leaving out something major here, like, oh no, you forgot that. You know, the wire here we're fine with. What I'm going to do, instead of drilling a hole in the shroud, I'm just going to notch it right here. Just leave a little bit of a notch and we'll get a fitting there. I got to do the same with this one. I got to put new ends on them, so this getting buttoned up will be last. Ignition system, flywheel and stuff helps keep the weight down a little bit. We do not have a spark plug in. It's just got the wire out of the way. What's next, y'all? Do we? Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Sorry. Playing around. All right, do we put the lower support on? Yeah. Let me get all that set out. I think I have mostly everything for that. I have to put that sticker on here real soon. Did I show you guys that? I don't think I did. I can't remember. But the decal arrived. There's one. Maybe I should put that on the bottom. That one right there. Be like, warning. You know, like all warning shirts. This is go-kart. It's go-kart engine. But, look at that. And that's just going to be stuck right up there. Right up there. So that's where we're going to put that when the time comes. But we'll put that one right there. That'd be a good spot for it. Warning. Because all the warning labels are out of sight on the bottom and out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. Right? Right. So, alrighty. Let's go ahead and let's get that done. Because the fuel system is going to be absolutely last. Absolutely last. So we will worry about that when we got to cross that bridge. Did I even make that line long enough? McGurd. This is going to be a tough situation here to route. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, shall we? We'll just say that. All right, bottoms up. So, anti-vibration mount system includes your lower brace, which are very prone to breaking, as this has 2 welds on it, but it'll do the job. It also fits how the looks of this. Your piece that's getting harder and harder and harder to find, but it's got a metal sleeve through rubber that isolates in another metal. And I'm figuring if you just get some rubber cork stop, or as Mike Nolan has done, skateboard bushings, you can just do it that way, as long as it fits, you know. So, and a bolt and some isolator parts that attach to this. And then there's a clamp that goes on it. I don't think I have that clamp. Pooey. It's a little late at night to be going and making something. So that means we are going to have to wait. Yeah. We can put the full wrap on. That's right, I completely forgot about that there, and I can't remember what I did in the past. I think I've invented something in the past to do that. Yeah, so I've had to do that in the past and invent something to work and everything and whatnot, make my own homemade strap and stuff like that, so. Just trying to remember how I did it. Do I have a license plate around here? Probably not. No, I took that outside. I need some sheet metal. We'll have to come back to that. We will have to come back to that. That's the one thing I need, is that lower clamp to make this happen. But we can put a full wrap on. At least settle it down on there, and then that is not the right way to do that. But it keeps everybody together. Until next time. So anyways, full wrap. That's very well used and very well fits the theme of this. Let me get the clamps and I'll bring you back. Okay. Here's another kind of hard to find items. The metal clamps for the full wraps on these. I was given 2 sets. I've done it before. I've gotten them before, I should say. And I'm going to try and 3D print my own for future reference. So, chamfered ones are on the outside. And then there's this little bar that goes through, which you could just use any kind of steel tubing and stuff and cut to size on that. That's perfectly fine. And it bolts up to your full wraps. Yep. And there's a certain way this goes on because it's drilled at an angle to it. But also these little drain rivets or something, they go on the back side. So. And then flat sides to the back, to the tank. So that's how that works. Where's my cheat sheet at? I think my handlebar wraps, full wrap. 1 1/4 up on top or 2. It's either 1 1/4 or 2 inches. It'll be 2 inches on the clamps. Let's see your starter cover. Don't tell me I didn't buy full wrap ones either. Oh, nope, got them. And 1 1/4 for the bottom. Woo. It's been a few days since I've been shopping, so. Alright, so this is where some magic happens. I know it's like getting bigger and bigger, and I have to keep moving the camera further and further back. Isn't it wonderful? That's, might have to hammer those in. I don't know. I've never used them, actually, these little inserts. I've just always just stuck a bolt straight through and called it a day. But I can understand why you use them. Okay, just fits right in. Yep, that just hammered right in. I mean, just like hammered dog crap. That is just beautiful. It's exactly what the full wrap looks like, but I will take it. I will take it. And still super huge thanks to James for the parts. Jason for the clamps. Jason for the body. This would not be happening as we speak without you guys and many others who have helped along the... What the... Is that stripped out? Oh no, there's a nut that goes... Okay. Well, thankfully, I've got those. I know I'm using Allen caps on a chamfer, but it is what it is. So I'm going to have to make a clamp for the bottom or something. We'll get her figured out. Have you hit that subscribe button yet? That like? Really helps the channel, actually. It really does. It lets YouTube know that you guys are watching this. I mean, it knows watching, but it definitely shows that my content is like halfway decent or something. It definitely helps me out. Does this side have a nut? No. That's fine. I've got locking, and I was thinking ahead on that because I needed to order one more thing to get the discount. $2 off discount. And guess what it was? I ordered them. Wow, this is just ugly together. Is that even going in straight? I mean, it's got no choice but to go into the nut straight. No, it doesn't. It can cross thread if it really wanted to, but... There we go. Did we? We were? I don't know what was going on. Nothing wants to go through straight. Nothing makes sense. Let me figure this out. Let me get it figured out here. This bolt, I was able to save it. Literally took a look at this project and said, nope, don't want to be a part of it. But it has no choice but to be a part of it because I fixed it. The nut, on the other hand, I don't know what happened. Tried a 1.5, that wouldn't work, so I had no choice but to use this 2. So just threaded them together. Now nicely go together, you two. We're good. Oh, yeah. So there we go. All right, so that is your full wrap. Mounted, I guess. Meow. Mounted. I don't know. And that's pretty much as far as we can go. Like I said, at least I can adjust the oiler real easily. Yeah, so there we go. It's a 5/16 whatever. So, all right. Well, I don't know how much further I can go. I got to get the body. I'm trying to save, like I said, all the ignition stuff for ignition day and whatnot. Even though we have ignition, we're just taking that one step at a time. You know what? I know you got somebody's yelling at. Yes, you. You want to see the side cover on this thing, don't you? We still got to get the starter, too, and that's outside. And we'll go through that also. Just run that right there for the minute. Well, now. Some stuff's trying to warp out of place, maybe? I don't know. Some stuff's warped out of shape on the rear. Yeah, it's warped out of shape because we had to force it to fit. We'll get her figured. We'll get her figured out. It's all part of the something had to give, something has to fit kind of phase on these. So. All right. So it's looking like a thing now. Yeah, that'll fit. That'll squeeze. So that'll work out when we go to bolt everything together, and they're going to be happy whether they like it or not. So. All right. What do you think? Starting to look like something? I gotta say, on the camera, it actually looks a lot better than it does in person. Maybe it's just the lighting the camera does. So. All right. Well, that's all we're going to be able to do for now. I got to figure out the bottom. We'll get the starter and stuff. I might do that a little off screen. There's plenty of how to fix recoil ropes on starters and stuff on these and whatnot. I think I have a video floating around somewhere of it. The fuel system, we'll get it figured out and everything. We've got the impulse, which I thought I cut long, but it's there. We'll have to cut the get this barb glued in, seal all in so it doesn't leak. Cut a couple, wrap it up, over, and down. So that's going to work out. I got to get the hardware for the top, which I've got the hold down and everything. I've got an air filter somewhere for this, I think. But we're getting the little stuff, and it's always the little stuff on these kinds of things that adds up quick, as you have seen. So, like I say, leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell, questions, comments, let me know. So, kind of figured we'd do a little bit more on this, but I was really hoping for that bottom support, but I don't have the clamp for it yet. So I'll have to make something, figure out something. So, all right. Like I say, check out, if you need one of those intake boots, check out Traverse Creek. I'll leave a link in the bottom in the description for you guys for that. So, just want to say thanks for watching, and she's finally putting on some weight. She's getting some girth on her. So I can see why everybody liked them. Like I say, it's just something about the looks. It did it right. They did it right. And then you just put a cart engine in it and the shrouding, and that just says, whoa, you've done something. So, all right. Like I say, thanks for watching. Okay, I lied. I was able to mount the lower, because it bolts to the front here. So bolts there, bolts there. This is holding firm. I just need to get a piece of metal to strap that down. So as of right now, the engine is no longer sitting on the ground. Also notched that out for the wire, just because I had the Dremel tool out before I put it away. So, all right, so that concludes this video. The next one we're going to tackle, I don't know. I just don't know. So all right. That's her as she sits. And we're getting real close. We're getting real close. Maybe the electrical next time and fuel system, along with getting that strap made. The fuel system's going to be the biggest thing to get tied up, put together and stuff. The carburetor did work when I took it off the Super Pro 125. I ran it right before, and then the next day I tore into the whole project and did that. So I don't see an issue or reason why it won't run. The box of parts is whittling down really, really, really quick. So, I mean, we've got a cool top here. This ain't gonna fit because I've got, okay, well, there's a gigantic screw in there, but I've got the holder and stuff like that. So we're getting there. We are getting there. So, but as right now, we are like that. So, all right, just want to say thanks for watching, everybody. Whoops.